Alistair Book here with award-winning author Mark Hodder. You are known for your steampunk series Burton and Swinburne. Why that genre?
Steampunk, I think, is set in an idealised past. It's an idealised British past, which provides a counterpoint to the way things are today. We live in a world where technology is very hidden. Like things, if you took them apart, if you were able to take them apart, there's no way of knowing how they work for the average person. Whereas in Victorian times, everything was out there. It was very obvious the way a locomotive worked, for instance. You could look at it and you could probably figure out how to make one. So I think it's the idea that things were more transparent then, more obvious and easier to understand. And I'm attracted to it simply because it is a contrast to the way things are now. I think we live in a world where we sense that a great deal of things are hidden from us and we want answers. And steampunk kind of plays with that idea.
Tell me about Sexton Blake. Who is he, and why did you decide to resurrect his stories?
Sexton Blake was a character who was invented in 1893 and became pretty much the Harry Potter of the early 20th century in Britain. Incredibly popular. Everyone knew who Sexton Blake was. 200 authors or so wrote literally thousands of stories about him, and then he just fell out of the national consciousness, if you like. By 1978, people stopped remembering who Sexton Blake was. I became interested because the stories are really, really good. Some of the authors are like lost geniuses. And I wanted to bring Sexton Blake back, so I started a website about all the old stories. I wrote some news stories on that website, and now Sexton Blake is back in a new series of books, the first one of which I was lucky enough to write. So it's a kind of part of the British heritage, I think.
Why did you come to ConnectiCon?
Because I was invited.
Are there any people or events you want to see?
I just want to see everything that's going on. I'm really fascinated. It's the first event of this sort that I've been to, so I feel like I'm sticking out like a sore thumb because I'm not in costume. But apart from that, yeah, it's really interesting.
What advice would you give to aspiring authors?
Don't wait for inspiration. Just write, even if it's just a scene. Don't wait for the full plot to come to you, because it probably won't. It didn't come to me for years and years. So don't waste time. Just write.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.